Hi everyone, welcome to the Spring Garden Series. Very excited to get things kicked off this year. We do this series every year to help people grow their spring vegetable garden all the way from seed to harvest and everything in between. And this first video is going to be how to make your own soilless seed starting mix with just 3 ingredients so that you can get your seed started indoors on the cheap. Now, what a lot of people do when they start their spring vegetable garden is they wait for the snow to melt, wait for the weather to warm up, and then head on down to the garden center, pick up some vegetable plants, and then take them home to plant in your garden. What we're doing in this series is we're gonna start from seed indoors, about 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost date, so that you get a jump on your garden season. You're basically growing your own transplants, which is gonna save you a ton of money. And it's so much fun because you get to grow a wide variety of plants that might not be available at the garden center. And you have the satisfaction of knowing that you grew them yourself all the way from seed to putting in the garden to harvest. Now, if you're brand new to vegetable gardening, you are in the right place because we're going to walk you through all the steps, including getting grow lights set up, how to water and fertilize your seedlings, how to get them ready to plant out in the garden, how to prepare your garden beds, and then plant them out in your garden and then harvest them when the time is right. So you're definitely going to want to stick around. Now, if you are a seasoned gardener and you've been with us for many seasons, we definitely want you around on this video series as well because you're going to be able to offer your expertise in the comment section, and also you might pick up some tips and tricks along the way. So make sure that you subscribe and follow along with us. Join in the fun. It is going to be a lot of fun to grow our spring gardens together. We're going to make our seed starting mix outside today. I wanted to bring you some of the sunny Southern California sunshine to help you warm up in the wintertime. Now, what is a seed starting mix and why is it important? A seed starting mix is a lightweight mix that you plant your seeds in and you grow them in that mix so that they grow into healthy seedlings. It's finer textured, it's lighter weight so the seeds germinate quickly, and it should have 4 important ingredients. It should have good moisture retention so your seedlings don't dry out. You also want it to have drainage so that the plants don't get too waterlogged. And you want your mix to be aerated so the roots get oxygen so they grow into nice healthy seedlings. And then you do want it to have some nutrition as well. Now, seedlings don't need nutrition when they first start out, but once they get their true leaves, and we'll talk more about that in the seed starting video, they definitely need some good, healthy, organic ingredients so that they continue to grow into nice, strong, healthy seedlings. Today we're going to make a soilless seed starting mix with just 3 ingredients. Now, why soilless? Well, if you've grown seeds indoors before or grown along in my indoor garden series, you know that those fungus gnats, those pesky little fruit fly looking gnats that fly around your plants sometimes are so annoying. And what happens is the larvae of those fungus gnats feed on the decomposed organic matter in the soil. So when you make seed starting mix with compost or garden soil, which you definitely don't want to use garden soil because it's way too heavy and doesn't have enough drainage, it gives the fungus gnats a lot of organic material to feed on. So today we're going to substitute another ingredient for that to really help cut down on the fungus gnats in the garden. There's lots of different recipes out there that you can use for a seed starting mix. I just started some seedlings in my favorite recipe about a week ago. They're already sprouting, looking very healthy. So I'm really excited that I already have my spring garden started. So the mix I'm going to use today uses just 3 ingredients. I like it because it's very, very simple. It's easy for beginners to get started with, super inexpensive. The first ingredient that goes in the mix is coco coir. Now, coco coir is really cool because it comes in this compressed brick. You add water to it to hydrate it. It actually holds up to 10 times its weight in water, which is pretty cool. It gives your soil a lot of moisture retention, a lot of aeration. A coco coir is an organic material. It's a byproduct of the coconut industry. It's very widely available. And the type that we're using today is a finer type of coco coir, so it's more suitable for seed starting. So we're going to hydrate that up in just a moment, but let me just talk about the other ingredients. The second ingredient that we're going to use is vermiculite. Now, this is a nice spongy material. It's organic. It helps your soil hold moisture, also adds aeration, which is very important to your plant's roots. The third ingredient, which is our nutrition portion, is worm castings. Now, we all know how wonderful worms are for the garden, and castings are basically worm poop, which is going to give our seed starting mix that very important component of nutrition. Now, the first thing we're going to do is hydrate our coco coir brick. Now, I like this particular brick because it's smaller in size. Some of them are huge and you end up making a whole ton of coco coir, which maybe you don't need if you're not starting that many seeds. So I really like this particular one. I'll link up to it in the video description. And what you want to do when you're hydrating your coco coir brick is add some warm water to it, and it really helps it hydrate quickly. So we're just going to pour the warm water over, let it soak up a little bit. It expands very quickly, and I might need to add some more along the way. Let it sit and soak up. I'm just going to kind of start breaking it apart here just to get it rolling. Got to get the party started here and get our seed starting mix going. And you can see as you add water, it's hydrating and it's starting to fluff up. So I like to kind of add water as I go because I don't want my coco coir to be too overly wet, so my seed starting mix isn't too wet. So just add water, let it absorb, break it apart. Keep on doing that until the brick is completely hydrated. And you can see how much this small little brick expands so that you have a really good amount of coco coir here. We've got our coco coir all hydrated up. It made about a gallon or so of coco coir, and this is a really fun project to do with your kids because they always have a lot of fun seeing the coco coir kind of expand. So what I'm going to do is mix it up here in this storage bin, and I'm going to use 3 parts of coco coir. Now, when I talk about parts, you can use a measuring cup, like 1 cup equals 1 part. What I like to do is just find some little garden scooper around outside. You can use these little nursery pots, and one thing that's kind of fun is if you cut a milk gallon, the bottom off of a milk gallon, and then use that as a little scoop. That's kind of handy. So just use whatever you have, keep it inexpensive, and that way you can get your garden going on the cheap. So this is a great way to save a ton of money. Seed starting mix is actually quite expensive. So making your own really helps cut the cost and keep it really budget friendly. So I'm going to use 3 parts or 3 scoops of this nursery pot here of coco coir. Dump it into the bin, and you can see what a nice light spongy texture the coco coir has. You can see all those little coconut husks in there, which is kind of fun. It has kind of a, I might want to say like an earthy type of smell. And the cool thing about coco coir is it's sustainable, organic, and it's quite inexpensive. So we've got 3 parts coco coir there. And next we're going to add 1 part of organic vermiculite. This is that spongy material that helps aerate the soil, helps it retain moisture, and it helps keep your mix from becoming compacted. So you can see it's kind of a silvery type of looking material. Dump 1 part in here. And then we're going to add 1 part of worm castings. And I'm using the Vermistera worm castings. And this is what adds the nutrition to your mix. Has lots of good beneficial bacteria, which is going to help your plants be nice and healthy and give them the nutrition they need so that as they pass the little tiny seedling stage and grow into seedlings, larger seedlings that you're going to put out into your garden, they'll have the nutrition and the food that they need to keep on growing. So now what I'm going to do is just get in here with my hands. You want to make sure you're wearing gloves. Mix it all together. Don't want there to be any dry spots. Get it good and incorporated. Now if you live in a warmer, drier area, you might want to add extra coco coir or extra vermiculite just to help with that water retention. You don't want those seedlings drying out. But it's really fun knowing we are going to be getting our spring garden started, and this is going to be the mix that we're going to start it in. It's going to grow some nice, healthy, tasty vegetables. And you definitely want to tune in to next week's video where we're going to be starting our seeds and get them going inside. That way when the weather warms up, you are going to be ready. So we've got our DIY seed starting mix all ready to roll here. Just 3 ingredients, keep it super quick, simple, and inexpensive. It looks nice and light and fluffy, all ready to start your seedlings. Now you can use this right away, or you can store it for later use. It doesn't expire. All you need to do is just let it dry out just a bit and then pop a lid on it. I think I probably have about 2 gallons or so in here, but you could definitely make it in larger quantities if you want to. And then once you're ready to start your seeds, you just pop the lid off. Grab a little seed tray or little container. You can just do it right over the container, fill it with soil, and you'll be ready to go. I want to invite you to grow along with me in the Spring Garden series. It's going to be a ton of fun to grow our vegetable gardens together all the way from seed to harvest. I mean, can you not just wait to get these little baby seedlings started? It's going to be a ton of fun. So here's what you need to do now. Start collecting your supplies, making your seed starting mix. I'll put all the links in the video description. And also grab one of my Spring Garden seed collections. 13 varieties to get your spring garden started. I've done all the legwork for you here, and a copy of my book, Organic Gardening for Everyone, so you have all the instructions written down. Now you can save $5 when you head over to CaliKimGardeningHome.com and purchase them together as a bundle, and I'm also offering you a discount so that you can get started and save yourself some money. Just enter the code SPRING and you'll get 15% off over at CaliKimGardeningHome.com. And that sale goes through Monday, February 22nd, 2021. Comment below, let me know if you're if you're gonna be growing along with me this spring. I can't wait to read all of your comments and to grow together with you. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.